up. Ross Stripling joining us right
Wait,
now.
wait, is he driving to go pick up Shohei Ohtani? Where you going, big
Yep.
dog?
Yeah, I'm the final piece to get him to San Fran. They're sending me out there to talk to him. That's where I'm at right now.
So he's not in Toronto. He's in San Francisco, huh? Coming to get him for his physical? Take
Oh
him?
shit.
Man, what a crazy thing this has been. I don't know anything. I don't know if you guys know anything, but it's been hilarious and also very exciting to watch. That's for sure.
So let's start with this then on that front. You played for Dave Roberts for a while. Did you see the other day he comes out and says the most basic thing ever, and it becomes like a massive, I don't know, fire of reporting, and even internally it's like there was reporting, and it included Ken talking to us the other day that they had to talk it out behind the scenes like, hey, Dave, I know you said basically nothing, but shh, don't even say that we met him.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, props to Shohei. Since we've gotten him over here to the United States, he has kept things as close to the chest as you possibly can. It's like after he pitches, you might get a few answers, but other than that, anything you get about Shohei comes through the manager, comes through a translator. He's, anyone that says like, oh, I know Shohei wants to play for a winner, or I know Shohei wants to pitch every fifth day or whatever. I think that's all BS, man. I don't think anyone has a clue what Shohei wants. And, so, we got the whole idea that Shohei wants to keep it private, this whole process private. And then Dave Roberts comes out and says what he says. That's the first wind of anything we've gotten. And it just blows up, because that's the only Shohei headline we can get. And that shows you the power of his free agency and how everyone's anxious to see what's going to happen. So that just small little snippet just shows you, where we're at and trying to anticipate what he's going to do.
Yeah, he should have a lot of power. I mean, he's a once-in-a-generation player, so let him run the ship the way he wants to. What do you think, from the Giants' perspective, goes on this offseason? Obviously, they're interested. They want him, but if he doesn't end up there in general, I think the city is like starving for more star power, right? And they've been going after guys. It's no secret. Correa last year, Judge last year, and guys before that too, that they just couldn't bring in. So do you think they're going to be going nuts this offseason for Yamamoto? Your boy Cody Bellinger maybe could be back with the team at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we're in on everybody, right? We were last year. Aaron Judge doesn't quite work out. Correa doesn't work out, but you could tell they were trying to make moves, bring some star power to San Francisco. Our new manager, Bob Melvin, had a good quote at the winter meetings of saying, we had the Willie Mays era, and then we had the Barry Bonds era, and then the Buster Posey era. Like, who's going to have the next era? It looks like we're trying to find that guy this offseason. At the end of the day, I think almost anybody would say we didn't play a super exciting brand of baseball last year. We need to get more athletic. We need to get more stars on the field, and it's a very competitive division that we need to, be at the top of and want to be at the top of, and there's good talent out there. So it sounds like we're in on everybody. I could see us getting a Matt Chapman, a Cody Bellinger, a star pitcher, a Blake Snell, a Shohei Ohtani. And at the end of the day, we're a big market. We have big expectations to win. We're not that far removed from 3 World Series titles, and the city wants those back. So I legitimately think we're probably on the hook with just about everyone, and trying to make big things happen.
First off, I just want to say you don't even have to look at the camera anymore. You're making me nervous over there. Okay. Just secondly, if he doesn't go, Ohtani doesn't go to the Giants, and it's between the Blue Jays and Dodgers, talk to me about the good and bad things about both, and where would you decide if you were him?
Man, gosh, that's a great question. Both places are amazing to play. I really enjoyed both, man. I'm very lucky to be drafted and developed by the Dodgers. They're a well-oiled machine. You don't need to really talk about them much as far as the talent that they've developed over the years, both on a coaching standpoint and a player standpoint. It seems like there's just Dodgers on every team, both in the front office and on the field. And then the Blue Jays, man, I loved it there. At the end of the day, they're the only baseball team in town, right? A whole country supporting them. Once the Maple Leafs inevitably lose in the playoffs, like they always do, sorry to any Canadians listening, they're the biggest thing in town. I mean, it's 40,000 people a night, and they're beloved by the whole country. And that was pretty special to be a part of, especially as a team that played in Buffalo and then made our way back to Toronto and had that welcoming. That was amazing. So really, I don't see him having an issue with either place, but obviously he said, or it seems like he said, West Coast is is preferential. So LA seems to be a more likely stop for him than Toronto to me. But at the end of the day, like I said at the beginning, nobody has a clue. So we'll see.
And there are reports flying all around, people freaking out. Today is like the ultimate day too, Ross, of just everybody putting on their Ken Rosenthal hat. And then you see it's actually like Twitter wars, right? So someone will put something out there, like a dinner reservation or even just a breaking news just now, and then you'll have a Toronto reporter shoot it down. Like someone's like, oh, he's a J, and then someone's like, no, he's not, no decision yet. So you are seeing like the true best of social media being played out today. Do you look at all that stuff? Like, do you have the alerts running today? Even just as a fan of the game because of how big this is?
100%. I even just tweeted like 10 minutes ago, someone posted like a GIF of, I don't even know what it was from, some guy in Congress that was like getting asked something like 500 times more, 1,000 times more. You guys have probably seen that GIF. It's like, how many times have you checked Twitter today? That's me for sure. I mean, I'm bought into it all the way. Every conspiracy theory. Shohei followed my teammate Logan Webb last week on Instagram. I 100% think that means something. I don't know why, but I'm bought in on that meaning something for sure. So I'm all in on trying to see what's going to happen and believe in every headline I see.
I like that. I like that. All right, let's get into your ball club for a second. Aside from the free agent signings and all of that, what do you know about Bob Melvin?
I know that he is a very distinguished manager, and I've been able to play with guys like Matt Chapman and Sean Manaea and some others that have played, Marcus Simeon, that were Oakland A's under Bob, Michael Wacha last year in San Diego. I've heard nothing but good things. Been able to talk to him on the phone a couple times. He seems like the real deal. You can obviously see his pedigree and why he's had the success that he's had. He's going to be good for us. I think that last year we did what we had to do to win baseball games, as far as like the openers and the hits and the platooning that we did. But I do think more traditional approach to baseball, fielding 8 everyday players, maybe platooning 1 or 2 spots, having 5 starters, and it seems like Bob Melvin and Brian Price, our new pitching coach, and some of the others that we brought in believe in that. And I just think you can win doing the other thing, the Tampa Bay Rays and some of the San Francisco Giants stuff that we did last year. But I think that with the star power out there on the market and the talent we already have on the team, we can field a more traditional baseball team and have success. And I think Bob is an awesome step in that direction, and really looking forward to playing for him.
Nice. Well, I just want to ask real quick, like, what does your off season look like? Where do you spend your off season? How does your off season training look like? I would love to go on the inside of a pitcher. Me being a position player or former position player.
Yeah. Well, for one, man, nice to meet you in person. I've done this now like 10 or 12 times. I don't think we've ever synced up together. So nice to meet you. Fun competing against you over the years. And congratulations on an awesome career, man, for real.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Man, this is the first year I'm throwing year round, and I'm loving it. I didn't stop. I got done with the season and just kept it rocking. And I've loved it. I wish I did it sooner. The idea that I usually throw around Thanksgiving for the first time, and then you spend December just building strength, and then you kind of get off the mound early January. I'm, already at full strength, and I've been able to work on stuff in December as opposed to just using the month to build strength and to, find my arm slot and not feel like a baby giraffe again. And I just think that's been huge for me. I'm really excited to get to spring training and feel like I'm in a better spot. Last year, I just didn't show up where I wanted and definitely didn't break spring where I wanted, which I think was part of the reason which led to kind of a funky season for me. And then other than that, man, you spend the first month just getting your body back to equilibrium. We're so asymmetrical, only working one way for 6 months. You got to start working the other way a little bit. And then now we're in the throes of it. Now it's about building volume, building strength, and getting to a place where I'm going into spring training as strong and as in shape as I can, because as you guys know, it's a gauntlet. You're going to lose strength. You're going to lose just about everything you've built over the course of 162 games. So just trying to get myself to the best place possible and get ready for the marathon that we all know baseball season is.
Towards those lines of the baseball marathon, they've changed from 20 seconds to 18 seconds now, I think, with a runner on base. So what do you think about that? Does that change anything you're doing in the offseason?
It doesn't change anything I'm doing right now, but definitely will start stuff like that in spring training. Even before you get into some spring training games, you can start kind of practicing those in bullpens. They'll have the clocks going. Pickoff stations are obviously one of the stations of PFPs in spring training. They'll get the clock going for that, and just start fine tuning your body to the 2 seconds less. I'm not worried about it. I did have a couple infractions this year with runners on base, so I do think I'll have to put a little attention to it. But at the end of the day, I think it's okay. I think speeding up the game just a little bit more, even though we did such a good job, I don't have a problem with it. I'm sure there's plenty of guys out there complaining about it. But, I think at the end of the day, 2 more seconds, it feels okay to me. I don't know where you guys stand on it.
Yeah, where are you guys at on that, Lo and Todd?
I don't have to deal with it, so it's.
I'm not a fan. I mean, I think they should get a little more time. But
no, you do have to. Well, you didn't have to deal with it then, Lo. But
yeah,
as a hitter, the clock's for hitters too.
No, I don't mind it.
That's true. Well, me personally, anyone who's watched me play, I take my time. I'm unstrapping, strapping my gloves all the time. So I was a guy that I needed to take that little extra second to breathe and go through my plan and whatnot. But I think it's tough for hitters to adjust because they have their routine, and as we know, we're creatures of habit, and it's tough to change our routine.
Let me ask you this: Gabe Kapler, gone. Now he's with the Marlins. Talk a little bit about him. Do you think he's going to do well over there? Is there, we talked about this. I wasn't a big fan of the move. I'm thinking about Skip Schumacher a lot. I don't know. Talk to us about, what he can do over there for the Marlins.
So I really do like Kapler. I respect him so much as a baseball mind. He was my minor league coordinator in LA. I've known him for a long time. He's helped me a lot in my career. He's always been in my corner. Even this last year when I was frustrated with some things, he always had my back in the media. He had my back behind closed doors. Huge fan of Gabe Kapler. I think he's very, very smart. He is definitely a analytical mind. He is definitely a forward thinker. But at the end of the day, I think he's got a really good beat on developing players and finding players that can, fit certain roles and do some things very well. And, I think that he can definitely bring some edge to the Marlins and finding talent where maybe they're not always looking. I do think that Gabe Kapler has that ability. So I think he's going to be in baseball for a very long time because he's smart and he knows what he's doing. So I think anybody that has his talents in the organization is lucky. Will he ever manage again? I'm not sure. I enjoyed him as a manager, but I think that he's got a really good eye for developing players and helping them get better and finding guys that can have, niches in certain areas, whether it's a reliever with a certain pitch or a guy that can really hit lefties or certain kinds of lefties, whatever it is. I just think that he's got a really good eye for ball players. So I got to think he's going to help them get better. That at the end of the day, that was a good team. They made the playoffs. They got the reigning NL Manager of the Year. And they just brought on some more talent in the front office with Gabe Kapler. So I would be bullish on the Marlins for sure.
Now, I don't want you to think I'm like bullying you here a little bit, but like the Giants, the brand of baseball to me, like last year, it wasn't like, look at this. It was kind of boring if you want the truth. You know what I mean? Like it's just something there. Do you feel like you'll need somebody to spice that up, or was it just, business as usual for the Giants and they weren't really worried about anybody else or what they thought?
It's a little bit of both, right? I think I touched on it earlier that we didn't play a very exciting brand of baseball. We didn't. I don't think I'd be hurting anybody's feelings by saying that. I think that we had to do what we had to do to win games, though. We weren't scoring a ton of runs, so we started employing some interesting stuff on the pitching side as far as openers and how we were using guys in like bulk appearances and things like that. We had Logan Webb through 230 innings. Thank God for him. And Alex Cobb had a great year. And after that, it was kind of all hands on deck anytime in the run prevention side, right? And at the end of the day, coming down to the last road trip, we were the third wild card team when we left, and we went 2-8 on that road trip, and we were done. But we were in it to the very end, and that's a testament to the coaching and the front office and the players buying into the brand of baseball that we had to play to win games. It wasn't always fun. We didn't always love it, but we bought into it, and it kept us in it to the very end, and we fell a little bit short. Now, I think if you were to ask everybody, and I touched on it earlier, we need to start playing a more traditional brand of baseball with 5 starters, with everyday players, with some star talent. And I think when you look at teams that have won World Series, that compete into the playoffs and win divisions, that's usually what they have. And I think you're seeing that from Farhan and the front office this year, as far as being in on the talent that's out there on the free agent market and trying to, field a more, I guess, normal team, whatever you want to say it, a traditional team that'll go out there and compete at a higher level than even we did last year.
Ross, we've talked about this in the past because you've been a swingman. You're hey, I'll do whatever I need to do kind of guy, right? I mean, obviously you usually want to start, but you've been in situations, even going back to your Dodger days when you first came up, where you're like, yeah, if I need to be a multiple inning guy out of the bullpen, whatever it is. On the other side of that, with this past season, and like you mentioned, really down the stretch, kind of like 2 starters on the more traditional side, and then a lot of mixing and matching. Do you believe in that? Is that good? Because now we look at the offseason and innings are being valued more than ever. So if you are a starter that can give a team 200 innings, I mean, you are getting paid. Even like Eduardo Rodriguez the other day, right? I mean, when he's been on the field, he had his stuff off the field. But when he's been with the ball club, whichever team he's with, he gives you innings, and he just got $80 million. So how do you think we can get to a point like that? Because I'm sure if it was up to the Giants, they would have 5 starters that could go 180 to 200 during the regular season, right?
I think so, for sure. I think at the end of the day, if you go back to spring training of last year, I don't think anybody, Farhan, Gabe Kapler, players, thought that we would go the route that we went. I think everybody wanted to throw 5 starters out there, 8 everyday guys, bullpen with roles, etc. That's the dream for sure. And then things adjust based on injuries and how your team's playing, etc. That was one thing that was a little bit frustrating for me last year was, I started in Toronto, went into free agency expecting to be a starter, and we're kind of doing the 2 starter thing, and I'm like sitting over there like, hey, I can start, like, run me out there, I'm ready, I'll give you 100 pitches and 6+ innings, and we just kind of did what we did, and honestly it was working in games that we opened. At one point I think we were like 17-4 or something, so it was working and we stuck with it. It just is hard. This is Major League Baseball, is the highest level of baseball in the world. Guys get hurt, guys go through struggles. It's just hard to script a game, hard to script a week, and expect it to go that way. And I think teams have to adjust. So at the end of the day, you kind of do what some teams are doing, where you bring in like 7 starters and you just hope that some stay healthy, and when the time comes, you can make an adjustment. And I do think there's a lot of value in the swingman role that I did for a long time, which is a guy that is ready to start when you need him, but he can give you 3 innings out of the bullpen, bridge a short start to the back end of the bullpen, and do it again 3 days later. And then 5 days later, if there's an injury, he starts and gives you 5 innings. I think that's extremely valuable. You see a lot of teams that have guys like that. I did it for a long time. It's just I would prefer to start any day of the week for sure. I think that's the best gig in baseball.
Yeah, I like that. One more Bay Area question for you. Since we've spoken to you, the A's move got more official. Are you grateful that next season you're in San Francisco with the Giants? And next year, I think they're fine. They're still playing in Oakland. But at some point, there are going to be players most likely part of a team that is kind of displaced, could be playing in 2-3 different places, could be like Sacramento in April, Vegas in May, like all over the place. It seems like the league doesn't even have it figured out yet. Being a veteran and having a family, do you feel for a situation like that could pop up? And the Toronto situation even, right? Where it's Buffalo, Yep. It's Dunedin. So you can certainly relate here.
You're exactly right. I lived through it, man, with a newborn son. We spent 2 months in Dunedin, 2 months in Buffalo, and 2 months in Toronto. At kind of the tail end of COVID there, it was madness. And yes, I feel for those guys. It is not easy. I think that's a young team. That the Blue Jays team that I had that did that was young. So there's a lot of guys that didn't mind it at all. They thought it was great, especially playing in Dunedin and Buffalo. Vladdy would have hit 78 homers if we stayed in those 2 places.
Let's finish here with what you've got going on with Candy Digital coming up. We'll show the tweet too. Like you mentioned here, feeling the holiday spirit, a lot of freebies going down. You're going to do a little giveaway break live stream coming up. What day is that? On December 13th.
Yes. Show the topic bar.
Is that me? What's the topic bar?
We got it. There it is. Giveaway on the 13th, 3:30
Okay, nice.
Eastern. Go ahead. We need the plug. What are you doing?
So I'm an ambassador for Candy Digital. If you guys love collecting baseball cards as kids, these are just digital baseball cards, right? NFTs definitely have some pros and cons to the stigma of the word. But at the end of the day, if you just think about these as digital trading cards, digital baseball cards, and how much we loved collecting them as kids, this is now done online. And you can do it through Candy. They're officially licensed through MLB. And you can break packs like you did when you were a kid. You get a Topps pack and break them open and get the feeling of what's in there. This is now done digitally. And I'm doing that with them next Wednesday, like you said, on the 13th. And we're going to give away some of the cards that we open. And, they've done an awesome job. They've been doing it for 2 years now or so. And this is, I think, one of the newest drops of cards that they've done. I think they're called Icons or Icons 2. And it's just going to be fun. For anyone that hasn't experienced digital collecting or collecting baseball cards online, come check it out. It's as fun as it is doing it as having the physical card in your hand, I promise. So please come check it out. It's a lot of fun. And, the star power is in there. Everybody that you want to collect, the Seagers, the Sotos, the Aaron Judges, they all have cards. You can collect all your favorite players. So it's literally Pokemon and baseball cards when we were kids, just brought to the new age here.
Hey, Todd, show him what you got because I don't think he's seen it.
I just got one here. Hold on, let me grab this on. This is my one of one here.
Yeah, cool. Can't see it. What do you do? Are you going to hit a homer?
Yeah, an Oppo homer. No, this is probably the single.
Must be nice. Hit off the Oppo homer.
Yeah, that's the single.
Yeah,
but
sweet.
Ross, I don't know if you're aware, but Todd Father hit a home run without his bat, essentially, in his hands.
Yeah, these are cool. Hey, dude, these are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, same. I have so that's called an infinite object. That's just the NFT put into a hard version of it. And I have one too. It's of me striking out JD Martinez, maybe like the one time I've gotten him out. So that's one of my prized possessions.
Love that. Well, Ross, yeah, we'll be there. We'll look forward to that on the 13th. Thanks for joining us, dude. Stay locked to your phone. Big things happening soon, okay?
Yep, you guys as well, man. Enjoy the day. It'll be fun.